Distractions in photography. I really want to talk about distractions because they are one of the most difficult things to handle in wildlife photography, especially in wildlife photography because animals and birds, they just go where they want and you won't always be able to get the absolute perfect studio scene. It's outdoors after all. And so distractions are going to occur. Now, it's always a good idea if there's a huge distraction like a lamp post or something, or some other unsightly object. It's always a better idea to remove it in terms of changing your camera position, fixing it in camera, trying something else, maybe not even taking the picture. Basically, trying your best in camera at the time to get rid of that distraction and just leave it out of the frame. But what do you do when there is a distraction in your photo and you can't help it? Now, hopefully these distractions will be small distractions. And in that case, there are so many different ways to reduce their effect in the photo and effectively make them not distractions at all. I think a common misconception with distractions is that you have to eliminate them. You don't have to eliminate distractions. What you really should do is find a way to make it so that the viewer's eye doesn't go to the distractions. I'm going to take an example here of a photo I recently took of a deer. It's in the forest, and the deer is standing in some nice grass, and you can see that the foreground is a little bit rough. It's not too rough. I consider this a very small distraction. But the reason why I consider it a distraction at all is because there's enough contrast in that area so that the viewer's eye naturally goes there. So one thing you shouldn't do in a case like this is try and soften it all up beyond recognition, blur it all out. That's going to look unnatural. A better thing to do in a situation like this is just slightly reduce the contrast in the foreground. So I'm just going to take a brush here in the contrast equalizer and darktable, draw a kind of diffuse brush over the area, and slightly reduce the contrast in that area. And by reducing the contrast in that area, I'm making it so that the viewer's eye is much less likely to go there or even dwell on that area. So even though after I do this process, the area might still look a little bit rough, it's not bothersome because it doesn't have a lot of contrast to attract the viewer's eye. And the photo as a whole, when you look at it without focusing on any particular area, looks a lot more harmonious. So that's my advice for today. If you have a distraction in your photo, find a way to lessen its impact. Don't automatically try and remove it. I'm not a big fan of cloning. I don't like to clone anything out except dust specks and other problems with the lens, but I don't like to clone anything out of the scene or remove things. It's not a good idea, in my opinion, to do so. It's a much better idea to use subtle editing to lessen the emphasis on those distractions so that they just don't draw the eye of the viewer. So I hope you enjoyed this video on distractions in wildlife photography, and I'll see you again next time.